this is the first farm build vlog.
Amazing.
This is the first one, the first instalment.
Many more to come.
Yeah, I don't know how many instalments there's going to be. Lots, probably.
How long do you reckon it'll take you?
I'd like to be done by May.
That's not that far away.
No, it's not, no. End of May. I'd like to be done. It might be wishful thinking, but I guess we'll find out, won't we? The barn was built in a day.
In a day? That's nuts. They got that up in a day?
One day, yeah.
So I'll probably be able to get the bigger one up in 2.
The bigger one, they've said 2.5 days for the big one. But if that's 60 by 40, no, 60 by 30, sorry. So the big one is 20 foot wider. So it's another 20 foot wider. And obviously you do life in narrow boats, don't you? So how narrow boats is that?
An extra half a narrow boat.
An extra half a narrow boat is what the barn is going to be. And then that's 60 foot, so it's going to be another 40 foot.
That's an extra narrow boat on the end.
An extra narrow boat, longer.
That's crazy.
So it's massive. Okay, so this field is field 3.
Sheep. You're going to need to get better names from that.
I know, we'll work on that.
Field 3.
We can name it this. Well, it's got 2.5 acres of woodland at the bottom, so maybe this one
you can name it after me then.
Woodland field. I'm doing that now.
Woodlands.
That's happening now. Important view.
Wow.
So that there, that is the startings of our yard.
So exciting.
And there's the horses in the field over there. There's the dog saying hi.
Oh, you're so brave. You protect your house.
So basically just here, we're going to have track all the way down from the bottom yard that we saw a minute ago, coming all the way up this hill, coming past the house, past this other house over there, it's not ours, past here, through this hedge, and we're getting rid of 6 metres of hedging.
Through the hedge?
Through the hedge. We're getting rid of 6 metres of hedging. I'm planting another 25.
Nice.
So putting loads of hedging in. Through that hedge, and then round through this other bit. So down there is, down that way, is 2.5 acres of woodland at the bottom.
So those trees there?
So those trees that you can see are the woodland.
That's so lush.
That is down there. And then essentially, this field we split up into either 3 or 4 fields, if that makes sense. So coming off the actual track, which will be over here, we're going to essentially split it up into different paddocks so we can rotate constantly.
Amazing.
All the grass is changing. So all the grass, we have a load of grass in here that is Yorkshire fog, we've got meadow grasses, we've got foxtail, we've got all sorts. We've actually got very little ryegrass, which is good. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically overseed with more species, basically every single manner of species that you wouldn't want for cows.
Yeah, nice.
Everything that has nothing in it, as far as achievable, is what we're going to be planting. So, if we go down this way.
Wait for me.
So this is field 4. So this is what basically going to be our biggest set of paddocks. And it's going to have, I'd say, probably another 4 or 5 fields in here. We're just going to sort of measure it out. And essentially the idea is the track is going to come, where is it? Basically following that hedge line. So the track will follow that hedge line all the way up. It's going to end, the hardcore is going to end over there for the moment. But we will be putting more hardcore in. So it's going to be grass track up to here. But the idea is that we can then put in loads of different paddocks. We can rotate the grazing ground massively. It's also half a kilometre from the main barn to here. So just for them to get to the fields in the summer, they're going to have to walk half a kilometre, which is amazing. Because obviously for their movement, they'll be using the metabolic system, they'll be moving loads, and working for what it is they're eating, and then add on to that the fact that we're putting in grass that is
Actually good for them.
Well, as best as we can make it. I'm under no illusion that there is a perfect grass, but we're going to try and put in as many species as possible that is as good as we can get it for them, in terms of not giving them access to loads of stuff that's bad for them, or that has higher sugar content or higher NSC content. And we're also going to work on trying to actually restricting the grazing as well at certain times of the year. So that the reason we're making the track so big and so long is so that we can just use it as a track if we want to.
Nice, yeah.
And the loafing area is big enough that we can have 25 horses on there, and that they can all have 50 square metres of space.
Oh, amazing.
So
you really shouldn't see any resource guarding on personal space, any resource guarding over
hopefully not
any of the forage or anything like that with that much space and freedom of movement.
Yeah.
Once they're settled, you're so unlikely to see any sort of antagonistic behaviour, which is amazing.
That's the aim. We'll see. Well, I might have to adjust things and change things as time goes on, but
how amazing that you've got the freedom to adjust to the herd that you're going to have.
Yeah, and
without being like,
picky.
well, that's just what the yard's like. You can actually adapt to, set it up to the way that improves their sort of mental state in the best way possible.
And the thing is, I'm so ridiculously lucky to have been able to do this, completely, and to have full control over it, which is it's incredible. But the thing is that even with full control, I'm under no illusion that we're going to have issues. There'll be speed bumps, there'll be things come up that,
Look at that view. That's incredible.
Hold on. Let's change it around. Yeah, there you go. So this is field 5.
Wow.
2 more to go.
My God.
So this is another 15 acres. This will be another hay field. It's a proper steep field.
Yeah,
Steep drop,
that's a
this
tiring one.
Yeah, but we'll get the track going to the point where essentially the idea is that we can get them as close to as natural without being confined to the track.
Yeah, nice.
So track systems obviously are so common at the moment, massively so. But the thing is that where they're common, they just end up being, confined to a track. When they're confined to a track, that's great for the vast majority of horses, but there are some horses that actually we've seen from a behavioural perspective become more stressed. Not all the time, but it does happen. But also, ethologically speaking, and there's even track systems that have said this, that, I saw something the other day from one of the big track systems in the UK, and they did say on Facebook, on social media, that, if we could have enough grazing and we could manage the grazing to be completely suitable for the horses, then that would be the ideal setup.
Well, yeah, because that allows them to fan out, right?
Yeah, but they said, but we can't do that, so the track is the best option we've got. And actually for them, they're making it work brilliantly. It's great for laminitic rehabs, it's great for all sorts. For us, we want to try and lean on the more ethological route. And we want to try and focus on the Equicentral system that's created by Jane Stuart Myers. We want to focus on trying to still give them access to species suitable grazing.
Yeah.
And that's going to take time, it's going to take years to get the grazing right,
But
and that's why the loafing area is there.
What a wonderful goal to be able to have.
The thing is, I want this to be as good as we can get it. It's going to take time, and that's why we're putting in the facilities we're putting in. That's why we're putting in the loafing area and the track, is because then if we need to take them off the grazing for any reason, we can do.
And you've still got all of that space.
And you've still got all that space, yeah.
Without confining them.
And in the summer, there's also the opportunity to put in a grass track extension. It's actually oval.
Yeah,
so in this field, what I'm probably end up going to do is I'm probably going to leave a set aside strip.
Yeah.
And then have the opportunity for them to have a grass track around the edge. I will have to change the fencing on that side as well, because currently it's not safe for horses. It's barbed wire, so barbed wire and stock net, so that will all have to go anyway. But while I'm doing that, I want to put in a set aside strip so that if we want to have a grass track through some of the periods and drier periods, then we can do. And it doesn't really matter. We can make that work. So this down here...
It's a big enough project then.
Big enough project, yeah.
I think every time I've called you over the last 2 months, you're like, I'm just in the digger.
Yeah, I'm doing things, I'm diggering. So this is the woodland. From that edge there, all the way, all this, down to the next field is kind of I think it's just shy of 3 acres of woodland.
I can hear the stream running, that's so lush.
Yeah, we're going to go and have a look. So down the bottom here is the stream that runs through the land, and again, one day I'd love to open this up to the horses. I haven't put a gate in yet because we've got sheep, and it's frankly been too wet until recently to do it. All this in here is woodland ready to be turned into something better, turned into something that is actually usable.
Are you a woodpecker?
Nice. Pardon?
You got a woodpecker?
Yeah, there's a few actually.
Be nice to have a little hacking route through it.
Oh yeah, with two actually.
Little trail.
I think we're going to jump over here. If I fall off, at least you'll have it on camera so you can laugh.
That was kind of my thinking.
Yeah.
You need a little style.
I do actually. Okay.
Swap. Did you put your foot on that one?
Yeah, but as close to the post as possible.
Like a stirrup.
Once an equestrian, always an equestrian. That's quite impressive. A little hop,
Thank
skip,
you.
and a jump as well. I like that. We have to remember that we came through at that point. So I have been lost in here before.
I was going to say we're going to get lost now, aren't we?
Yeah, completely. Two ADHD people getting lost in the woodland.
Oh, I just took some of your tree out though.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, we'll go back. Okay, so down here, there's a little path. So somewhere, there's either been deer or something using this.
Yeah, round.
And I don't know what yet, and I want to get some wild cameras set up, that'd be great. And then here is our wonderful little stream. I say little stream, it is quite small.
Oh, that's so lovely.
And then it goes, it meanders down there.